Hi, this is Should I Watch It? I'm Jason Cockroft.
I'm Jack Steptoe, and today we'll be helping you decide if you should watch Bad Neighbours 2.
We'll tell you some points about the film so you can decide for yourself, and then we'll give our scores and opinions at the end.
So Jason, what's it about?
It follows on from the first film. This time they're trying to sell their house, and the buyer has a 30-day period which they can cancel. And during this period, a sorority moves in next door and threatens to make the buyers quit on the purchase, basically. And they have to try and figure out how to stop that from happening.
Right, should I watch it?
I think you should watch this film if you like the first one. It's got very much the same feel to it as the first one did. They have made like a little bit of a twist on it with the sorority rather than the frat house. And it does make quite a big difference to the film. But it's still got the same sort of feel to it. You've got the same sort of humour and you've got the same sort of characters. And they sort of follow on like you would expect them to. You have to be able to cope with some gross out humour. There's quite a couple of bits of real gross stuff in this one, isn't it? Like that happens a couple of times. That's something to be aware of, definitely.
Yeah, it's not one for the kids, really.
It's definitely not one for the kids, yeah. There's a lot of sexual humour and quite a bit of gross out humour as well.
Yeah, it's obviously really based on teen kind of audience with the humour that's put into it. I want to like it to This Is the End. Obviously has Seth Rogen in it. Obviously a funny film. Not really much to it, really, to like the likeness of it. But it's, like I said, just because Seth Rogen's in it and it's a funny film.
Yeah, Seth Rogen tends to play very similar characters in a lot of his films, and I think he is in this. If you haven't seen Bad Neighbours 1, then he's very much the same in this one. I don't think you necessarily have to have seen the first one to see this one, but it would help.
Yeah, there is a bit of... I've watched Bad Neighbours quite a while ago, and I found myself a bit confused with some of the parts where Zac Efron comes back into it.
Okay.
But yeah, I want to say that it's like some of Chloe Moretz films, but it's really not. I mean, the closest you'll get to this is Kick-Ass, because she's a bit funny in that, but she's more of a demanding role.
Yeah, she is. I don't think she's really like a funny character in this one. She's more of quite a strong-willed character, who kind of and a leader of like the sorority house. So she's not really. She's kind of in one what you'd expect her to be. She's not really in a comedy role. If you like a bit of comedy with some pranks and things in as well, that's another positive for this film as well. Just like the first one, there's quite a lot of different pranks in it. And some of them are quite imaginative and they're quite interesting, some of the pranks they pull on each other.
Yeah, and when they're stuck in places, generally it is a laughing film. You get a laugh every minute or so, and I think the main thing to take out of this film is it's not a serious film, obviously, it's a comedy, and that's what you got to look at.
Yeah, I noticed a lot of comedies recently have been very storyline based, and as a result, the laughs suffer a bit. I think this one has more gone back to the sort of comedy where you've got more laughs and the story isn't quite as important. The story is a little bit looser on this one. It's more about. I found myself laughing consistently through the film, so I found it was a good comedy, but not necessarily brilliant in the lines of story.
Yeah, like I said, you just gotta keep it simple. Just don't think too much into it. Because the plot of the film, like you said, is not brilliant.
Okay, so on to ratings.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 5.
Harsh score. I'm going to give it a 7.5, so 7.5.
Yeah, the reason I gave it a 5 was because I didn't enjoy myself when I was watching this film. I found a few points to be a bit irritating, and generally just the film in whole was not much of a comedy to me.
Okay, I give it a 7.5 because to me it was a decent follow-on from the first film. The characters continued cohesively from the first one, and I thought the comedy was really strong. I found it made me laugh often enough to make it worthwhile for me. Like I mentioned earlier, the storyline and also Jack touched on, the storyline's not brilliant, but it's not terrible either. But it does leave a little bit, especially towards the end, it kind of trails off a little bit. It's like I kind of felt like they didn't really know how to end it properly, and they just kind of threw a bit together. But not just the immediate end, I mean like sort of a reasonable period of the end. Another point to make on this one as well, it has got a lot more of a feminine touch to it. The first one was very male heavy, and while this one is a bit of a male basher, especially when the girls are referring to the fraternity parties and stuff that they go to, it is very much a bit more of a girly film. The storyline and the characters and the kind of the theme of the whole thing is a bit more girly. So I think this one's a little bit more. If the girls were kind of not so sure about the first film, this one may be more for you.
Yeah, it hits on the point that the men are a bit stupid, kind of, and then it kind of rolls into the girls doing exactly the same thing. So
yeah, that's basically it. Yeah, so it's got a bit of equality in there in the end, I suppose.
Yeah, the thing that I liked the most about this film was the cast. It was a very all-star cast. You had Selena Gomez in there for a second.
Yeah, very briefly.
Yeah, you had Zac Efron, Chloe Moretz, and also Seth Rogen. So that's my main point for liking this film is that all of them are big star movies. Yeah, big movie stars. Sorry.
Yeah, I agree. The cast is very good, and they all play their roles very, very well. There's a lot of likeable characters in this, especially Seth Rogen and his wife. And Zac Efron as well. Kind of feel a bit more sorry for him in this one.
Yeah.
And he proves himself a bit more.
Finally, guys, Should I Watch It? Make sure you like our videos, share, subscribe, comment, ask us to do a review of any film if you like.
Yeah, sure. Comments are always welcome. Remember also on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, Snapchat. So check all those out, and please try and share our stuff, get us out there.